Today I have been working on a way to position items for lasering so that I get the image centered every time, and if you'd like to know how I do it, stay with me. So what I have discovered is that if you want to line up the item on the bed of the F1 with the image on the screen, it is very helpful to have a jig of some kind. I've seen lots of posts from people on social media who have created jigs using 3D printers, and I do not have a 3D printer, so it's not something that I myself can go ahead and do. But what I do have, oddly enough, is a laser, and I think that I can use my laser to make something that will do the job. So this is what I'm going to be working with today. I found these spice jars at B&M, and I've decided that I want to put a design on the lid, which is bamboo. I want my design to be centered, and I also want to be able to repeat the design on more than one jar because I'd like to have a few of them. So the first thing that I'm going to need to do is to take the lid out of its frame. And now if you don't know how to do that, this is what you do. So you pinch the two wire loops at the back of the lid together, and then when you've done that, you can work them over the two ends of the wire that goes around the jar until the lid comes free. And after that, I can just take the lid out of its wire frame and measure it. I used calipers to measure the diameter of the top of the lid and also the bottom of the lid. And now I am going to make a jig to fit the lid, and I'm going to make it out of cardboard. So here I am in XCS, that's XTool Creative Space. So I chose a rounded rectangle from the shapes menu, and I'm going to set the size to 108 millimeters, which is the size of the panel on the F1 that you can lift out. So I'm using crosshairs to help center it on screen. And now I'm going to select a circle from the shapes menu. So the size of this is 34 millimeters. I'm aligning it to the center of the square that I've already put there using the align menu. So I'm aligning horizontally and vertically. Then group the shapes, set the speed and power, and send it to the F1. I've got the metal cutting prism in place, and I'm cutting the shape out of cardboard, which was originally a box from Amazon, so it didn't cost me anything. I repeated the same steps, but this time I made the circle 43 millimeters in diameter, and then I glued those two pieces together. Now I made two layers because I found that one layer allowed too much play because the lid of the spice jar is quite deep. By adding the second layer, the lid was made much more secure and didn't move around quite as much. So here's the design I want to use. I got it from Design Bundles, I believe, and I'm importing the SVG file into XCS. I've grouped the design and chosen Engrave as the process type. Now there are a couple of spots on this design that are set to be filled in but shouldn't be filled in, and they are showing up in purple. Now I could select and delete them, but as they're all on the same layer and there's nothing else on that layer, I can just choose to ignore that layer as my output type. Now I can resize the image, and I'm going to center it before I check the framing. To be absolutely sure that the image will be burned where I want it to be, I'm going to change the framing type to outline. And now, when I hit framing, I can see where the image will be on the jar lid. And once I'm happy that everything is where I want it, I can start the burn. And when I've done one, all I need to do is to change out the lid and go again. To finish the jars, I designed some labels in XCS and I cut them out of some plywood that was left over from another project, and I tied them onto the jars with some twine. I liked these so much, I went back to the shop to try and buy more, but they didn't have any, and I've tried all the local branches around me and they don't have any, so I'm hoping that they get some more in soon. I've saved the project and my cardboard jig so that if I do manage to get any more, I can repeat the pattern. So that's it for today, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I thank you very, very much for staying with me up until now. And I do have some more ideas that I'd like to share as I explore the capabilities of my F1 laser. So do please come back and see me again and see what I'm doing. But for now, thank you very much again for watching, and hope I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.